Let's be chillin' with Karen Gillan.
Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. I like the rhyme. Chillin' with Gillan.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's very good at that. That's
Should be a rapper.
He's very good at it. So you haven't just flown in.
3 nights ago, I got here.
Right, from Los Angeles.
From LA.
Well, anything out there that we need to know about that you can tell us about?
Anything in LA in
no,
general?
I know about LA, but that you're up to.
That I've been up to.
Yeah.
I just finished a film called Let's Have Kids, but that was in Portland, in Oregon.
Right.
And that was really fun. It was a fun comedy about trying to get preggo.
Okay, so now you've landed with jet lag and you're on a press tour for this.
Yes.
We've all seen it. I've seen episode 1. Vassos has seen 1 and 4 because he couldn't wait. Silly's seen 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're saying just wait for episode 3.
Oh, yeah. It starts off as a comedy in episodes 1 and 2, and then episode 3 is going to take the biggest turn. You're going to be like, is this the same
Episode
show?
1 is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's hilarious and it's disturbing and it's clever. You know, there's a bit of W1A in there. Am I allowed to say this? There's a bit of The Office in there as well. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of, what else we got in there? The Office. We've got W1A, a bit of The Thick of It. Am I allowed to say that as well?
Yeah, I would say that's right. Yeah,
that vibe. It's still got that vibe going on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about it. Let's speak to it now. Could you frame it for us? What is happening in this show?
So it's about 2 TV show hosts, and Hugh Bonneville is the other one, and I play as co-host. And Hugh is overheard telling a joke at a wedding that's a little bit sexist, and so my character wants to get to the bottom of that, and she ends up causing like a media explosion on Twitter and everywhere. And then and she just gets really entwined in his sort of like spiral towards cancellation, and then so much more is revealed as the series goes along.
Perfectly pitched. Wow. I mean, right. Control round of applause, please, for the framing of that's so good.
Oh my gosh!
And that was Gillan.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I love this
She
control
won't even
room.
remember being here. So Hugh's character is Douglas, and Douglas is married to?
A character called Sheila that's
Yeah.
played by Alex Kingston,
Right.
who's also from Doctor Who.
And she just happens to be the editor of a national newspaper.
She does.
As well. Okay, so he's a much loved, much respected, can't do any wrong, sort of candy soft sofa TV host.
Yeah.
Current affairs, but not hard news.
No.
And, not chat shows, somewhere in between.
Yeah,
Right? So we know
exactly.
the kind of shows we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She is a no-nonsense, sassy, clever, sharp, witty, experienced female newspaper editor.
Yeah, that's his wife. Yeah.
And then they've this daughter as well. And the daughter's Gen Z. She's got all the anxiety.
Yeah.
She's got all that going on. So the dynamic is really, really funny, isn't it? He's
Yeah.
paranoid. He's really insecure. She's really secure. His wife. There's a line in episode 1. She says, "But darling, outrage is exciting. Nuance is work. Douglas is cancelled."
Oh,
and
well delivered, by the way.
yeah, and you go, okay, well, there we are. That's that. All right, so tell us about your character. So your character, she is his co-host. He is her co-host.
Yeah.
They seem like a team. They seem like a team.
Yes.
Are they a team? We don't know. We're led to and fro, left and right. What say you?
So she's kind of hard to read at the beginning, and she's sort of got Douglas wrapped around her finger, and it's really easy for her to sort of exert control and power over him. She finds that really easy. But then as the series goes on, we meet her like earlier on in her life. And she's much more of a sort of clumsy, vulnerable character. And she's trying to get a job, and she's a massive fan of Douglas. And then she goes through the job interview from hell, and you start to see that she's just sort of been through so many awful things in the workplace, and it really veers into all of these themes like abuse of power in the workplace and what women really have to deal with on a lot of occasions. So it takes a more serious turn.
That was episode 3 then? Is that where we are with that? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And so she has 2.3 million Twitter followers, and this is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, because she gets involved in this alleged joke that Douglas has told at a wedding and retweets it. So she really blasts it out to the whole nation and adds fuel to the fire.
Under the guise of pseudo-defense.
Exactly.
Right.
And we can't tell whether she is jumping to his defense or if she's trying to make this worse.
Yeah. So he thinks she's jumping to his defense because he would.
Yeah.
His wife says, "Don't be stupid."
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't know we don't know for a while what precisely is going on.
Exactly.
So for his paranoia, then is it an exec producer, the other guy that's in it?
Yeah, Toby. Yeah,
Right.
Ben Miles.
Yes. So what's his role and what's their relationship? And then there's the other bloke in the restaurant, his sort of
his agent,
his rubbish confidant.
Yeah, he has the worst agent in the world. And that's Simon Russell Beale.
Yeah,
and
so
he's
let's
funny.
go back to the other guy first.
Yeah, Toby. So he is, an exec who sort of runs the show. And he's a bit useless, actually. But then he's involved later in the job interview from hell. So all of these characters that you're thinking at the beginning, like, I'm in love with this character, this person's so charming. There's so many twists and turns as the story goes on. And you start to go, oh, what I was laughing at before, I'm not sure if I should have been laughing at that.
Yeah. And also all this genius script-wise comes from an old friend of yours,
Steven Moffat.
Tell us about Steven. For people who don't know, what are his wonderful credentials?
So he wrote Doctor Who while I was on it. So he gave me my first big job in the world, and he's just the most talented writer. And these scripts are just brilliantly written.
They are scintillating, aren't they?
Yeah, truly.
And he does things like he gets crazy. Pure, I bet because he has some experience, whether it's peripheral or central, to these kind of goings on, and they get to the point where the joke that was said at the wedding, nobody can remember it. Mm-hmm. So his character, his boss's character goes to somebody else who writes jokes, says, "Can you come up with the joke?"
Yes.
We need to know what this joke was, but we don't know what it is because Douglas, because he's so stupid and useless, can't remember the joke.
Yeah.
We need to come up with the joke. So but can you please come up with a joke that we can defend?
Yes, that's not too offensive, but just offensive enough.
I mean, that is so funny and not funny, but to get to that from a writing, where does he get there? You can see how life can get there, but how does one person get there with all these characters in his?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I truly am in awe of it. Like his brain, he must just live inside his own mind and just come up with all these things. But everyone is just so funny in the show.
When I heard that, I was saying, yes, can you come up with a joke? The joke that Douglas told. Well, what joke did he tell? We don't know.
Also, it doesn't matter to them.
It doesn't matter, but it has to be slightly misogynist, but misogynist enough to be understandable and that we can defend it.
Yeah.
At least these things may happen. We don't know.
I think they probably happen a lot more than we think.
Yeah, gosh. Right, his agent and this restaurant. Yeah. Tell us about Douglas's agent.
He is just a useless agent who's not very good at his job and is always trying to poach my character as a client, and is probably willing to throw Douglas under the bus at the first sniff of anything, offensive or anything like that.
Yeah. It's so funny, isn't it, though, because they're playing with us as viewers, aren't they? Because they're setting up. It's so funny. It's all this. Is there any harm in it? Yes, there's harm in it. Oh, there's not any harm in it. Not quite sure. So you pesky little can't wait. Impatient little soul. You fast forwarded to episode 4 because you wanted to see how it ended before Karen came in today.
Yeah, I had time for one more episode, and it was either going to be 2 or 4.
Should have been 3 by the sounds of it, but anyway.
But my goodness me, by episode 4, it's a different show.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jokes disappear.
Yeah, and so some of the questions Chris was just asking, we might not be asked if you've seen episode 4, because it's just... I mean, I don't, I'm terrible at spoilers, so Karen, I'll just shut up now. But do you want to talk about the arc of the show a little bit?
Yeah, so it starts off and it's really funny. It's almost farcical. People popping in and out, so many like one-liners and funny moments. And then episode 3 just takes the biggest turn, and it is a completely different tone for the show, and it's dealing with so many really important themes, and suddenly, you're not laughing anymore. And there are still some jokes scattered throughout, but it's just a really different vibe, and it examines some really interesting topics.
And it comes to an absolutely, what a conclusion.
Oh, hang on a minute. Now you're getting...
spoilers.
Yeah, you could tell from his tone, couldn't you?
What a conclusion.
Oh.
It's all about the tone, Vassos.
It comes to a conclusion.
You mean a conclusion, yes.
Hang on.
It does.
Hang on. Breaking news. Okay, media shocker. Series has ending.
Yeah, series has ending.
Series has
All I
ending.
was saying, everybody, is series has ending.
Should we get Tilly in? Let's get Tilly in. Because Tilly's been on the bus for the whole year. Come on, Tills. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tilly, Karen, Tilly.
Hello.
Okay,
Hi.
off we go, Tills.
Oh my goodness. Well, I sat down intending to watch episode 1 yesterday, and nearly 4 hours later, I was still sat there and I'd watched the whole thing. I binged the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
I was just gripped. It was amazing. And the way that it moved from being so funny to so not funny, and like I genuinely laughed and I genuinely cried all whilst watching it. It was absolutely loved it.
Oh, that's so lovely. Thanks. That's great.
With Steven Moffat, you wouldn't expect anything less. He's not just going to do a frothy 4-parter, is he? Because life's too short.
No, he definitely delivers on this. It's really different from anything he's done before. It starts off in more familiar territory for him because he's from the sitcom world, and then it just takes the turn that I keep talking about.
Is there anything you want to ask, Karen?
Oh, well, how did it compare to working with Stephen back in the Doctor Who days? Because that is just the most iconic thing. And how did it weigh up?
How did it weigh up? I mean, it was a bit different. There was no aliens. There was no running away from giant two-headed monsters.
Postbox.
Yeah. But I guess it has its own monsters in a way. They're just not alien form.
Nicely put. No, that's super cool. Anything else you want to ask?
Oh, just lovely to meet you. I honestly.
When Stephen wrote it, did he? You would know this. Did he write it with you in mind? Does he write it anyway? How does that work?
He actually wrote it as a play originally, and I had heard that he'd written a play, and I just asked him if I could read it, and he was like, okay. And then I read it, and I was like, you should turn this into a film. And it was before The Morning Show or Bombshell. I don't know if you remember that film. Really similar sort of subject matters. And so I was on this campaign to get him to get it on the screen somehow. And then he turned around and he was like, actually, we're going to make it a 4-part series for ITV. And would you like to play Madeline? And I wasn't even gunning for the role. I just wanted to see it made. And I was like totally honoured to do it.
You've appeared on shows like Hugh's Character Presents, haven't you?
Yes.
You know, on the sofa shows. I've done the sofa shows. You've done the sofa shows. I've been on both sides. I've been on either sofa. I've been a guest and I've been interviewing. As a host yourself of a show like that in this, I mean, do you have any sympathy for people who do this every day, day in, day out? Did you go and study it? Was being on shows as a guest enough of a study?
That was a lot of a study, actually, to just see. I'm just in awe of how you all do this job, truly. Like, I mean, you're live. Anything could go wrong and you're cool as a cucumber. And I'm in fight or flight mode every time I'm just a guest on one of those shows. So I'm always just like, I don't know how you do it. I couldn't do it myself.
Well, you put it off pretty well in the show.
I could fake it.
Oh my goodness me! Anything else you'd like to say about the show to get out there? I mean, it's going to be. I mean, what's the buzz? Because you got the sizzle reels out. People have seen it. We've seen it now. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's 5 out of 5, isn't it? I would say so, wouldn't you?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just hope that people watch it because there's some really interesting conversations that I think will come out of it after you watch it.
And well done to ITV because it's not easy out there now, is it, with Super TV going on? You know, you got your Netflix, you got your Paramount Plus.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's hard to cut through these days.
I think terrestrial TV companies now have to make shows with a view to them being global shows anyway, which I suppose why they got the ITVX platforms and things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you get a sense of that? Because you live in New York now. So how do you perceive TV now as opposed to what it was? Is it all super telly? Is everything now having to be all heading towards being made for the planet as opposed to one particular territory?
It just feels really fragmented now. Like, I remember the days when everybody used to watch the same things, and now I've never heard of some of the most popular Netflix shows that certain demographics are watching. And I'm like, society just feels so much more fragmented. And then you've got on top of that all the content from social media and TikTok, and that's how, you know, the younger demographic are consuming their entertainment. So it just feels like a totally different landscape.
Yeah, and I mean, this is all about that, isn't it? Because your show is all about Twitter in a way. It's all about X, isn't it? And it has become X, hasn't it, in the show?
Oh, has it? I don't know if they...
Yeah, they talk about it because I think Hugh's character says...
Oh, that's right.
Or X, or whatever it's called nowadays.
They must have added that when it changed.
How's it working with you?
Oh, it's great. He's such a brilliant actor and so perfect for this role. And yeah, he's just so funny and charming and all the things you want him to be.
Yeah. And does he read a lot? Because he writes a lot as well. Does he read when he's...
Yeah, he
downtime
does
wise?
write a lot.
Yeah.
He's written a book and everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He
He
was on
didn't
for
even
his
use a
book.
ghostwriter.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever write? Do you ever get into production, or will you get into production? Have you done that?
Go into production? I've been doing a lot of, I guess, producing in the sense of coming up with ideas and then finding a writer to write it and then finding a director for it. That's my new thing that I like doing.
Right.
And it's so fun.
Yeah. And how is your arc? How are you? You're in New York. Is that a career thing? Is it a life thing? Are you living to work? Are you working to live? Are you getting the balance right?
I'm maybe not getting the balance right quite yet, but I just love New York as a city.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really there for any career reasons. I think it's just so...
It's so funny, isn't it? Because they do say New York. I love LA. My wife loves New York. I don't mind New York. She quite likes LA, but of course, because you're living in both. Do you get the polarity of people when people think, you know, it's like they say live in New York at least once in your life, but leave before it makes you too hard. Live in California at least once in your life, but leave before it makes you too soft. Do you get that?
I think I do get that. I just like the intensity of New York, so I could live there for the rest of my life. I would like to do, Inverness, Scotland, New York. That would be better, and I could just cut LA out of the picture, but I married an American, and so I'm kind of tied to LA now, and it's so annoying.
Right. Inversnicky.
Inversnicky, exactly.
Inversnicky.
I'm amazed you know that.
No, I've been up there. We've had the lobster there. It's good. Well, I think we definitely saw. They're purple before they're cooked. You know that?
Are they?
They're deep purple. Yeah.
Deep purple.
Before we can't let you go. By the way, congratulations again. Well done to everybody on the show. It's great.
Thank you.
This is Karen Gillan you're hearing now in between us two Muppets with microphones. It's called Douglas is Cancelled. It begins next Thursday, 27th of June, 9 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX. Quickly, is all episodes available, or are they going to keep it linear?
I think they're going to put them all on ITVX, and then it's going to
Be weekly.
play. Is that the word?
Yeah,
show
play
show
weekly.
on ITV once a week. I'm
It's gonna
assuming.
play weekly for 4 weeks and
Play the
counting. On ITV. Can't let you go without talking about the Euros. Cannot let you go. Scotland
great.
play again tonight?
Yeah, Scotland plays Switzerland tonight.
Come on, Scotland! We can do this.
Yeah, it's going really well.
We've lulled them into a false sense of security, thinking we're
really,
not.
really full sense of security.
That's part of the game plan. It's part of the plan.
So where were you for the first game? How much of your heart is in Germany now?
I didn't actually see it. I'm not a massive football fan, but I did just have a look online to see how we were doing and saw a meme that was like Scotland before the Euros, and it was like Braveheart meme, like freedom, and then afterwards it was a meme from Trainspotting.
That's so funny.
Will you be watching it? Might you take in the game tonight?
You know what? I think I will actually.
All right.
Because I think this is the time that we're going to deliver.
Well, listen, thank you for being here. I hope you remember being here. I know you're jet lagged to the eyeballs. When did you go back over the pond?
I think I go this weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Karen, another great thing that Karen Gillan's in.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
she knows how to pick the winners, doesn't she? Karen Gillan, Douglas is Cancelled, ITV1 and ITVX from 9 p.m. from Thursday, June 27. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Virgin Radio.